Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Environmental Social Justice. I'm your host, Wendy Nystrom, and today's special guest is Eddy Vertil. He is a professor at Rutgers University, which is a fabulous university, if I have to say, and also an expert in project management. So welcome to the show, Eddy.
Thank you for having me, Wendy.
Anytime. So you are an expert in project management, you are a professor, but you actually started as a graphic designer and you owned your own web business. Could you explain the transition of going from graphic design and web design to working at Rutgers, being an expert in project management, and working at the Project Management Institute?
Sure. So when I graduated with my bachelor's in technical management, I was looking for opportunity to apply it within a corporate setting. So this is right during the recession hit. So I'm applying for positions. Nothing was really landing at the time. So I said, you know what, I'm going to work for myself. I started my own business. I started reaching out to people who needed graphic design work, right? And I noticed a trend that was happening with every single client. It was like, hey, this is phenomenal work. This is great. But do you do websites? I'm like, no, I don't do websites. As the demand kept on increasing, I hired another developer, another graphic designer, 2 designers, 3 designers. But I kept on getting that question over and over again. And I was like, wow, this is a missed opportunity. I have to get something into web development. The learning curve for me personally was just too hard. So I hired a design company. I hired a design company that was outsourced from, across seas. They were based in India. And then I would manage their team. So I asked them, I would get the requirements from the clients. And then I would have a developer on my end, a couple of developers on my end, and basically we would work together and we would fill the orders that way. And I did that for several years. So it started off at just really, me applying for jobs and just getting shut down. And I said, you know what, I got to pay bills. I can't take no for an answer. So if opportunity is not going to be there for me, or if it's not going to be handed to me, I'm just going to take it myself. So I just went out there and did it myself.
I absolutely love the fact that, you saw a gap. People needed web design and you filled it, but you didn't take no for an answer. Like, you kept pushing and finding solutions for yourself rather than just trying to say, someone help me out here. I love the fact you kind of took the bull by the horns on that and just figured it out yourself and created a whole company out of that. And then I have to add in, you transitioned. And could you explain to people what the PMI Institute is, what project management is? Because not a lot of people are going to know what that is.
Sure. So within my bachelor's, again, I took a course that was the fundamentals of project management. And I did utilize those concepts within my business. And then to my surprise, my business was growing by utilizing those concepts. So, over the years within my business, I kept on studying and looking into, the PMBOK at the time. And I was, it still to me was still a very abstract concept, but I was still understanding the general principles of it. And I was applying it and it was working. So the itching question that I had was, what was I doing what was large organizations doing that I'm not doing, right? Because I want to be able to scale this business. I want to be able to, help other clients with this knowledge, right? So I went back to school. I got my master's in project management, and I also got my master's in information systems management, because the two go hand in hand. And then that's when I really got an idea of the methodology. And then I also started working at other firms, Fortune companies. Started at Lockheed, then I went to Independence Blue Cross in Philadelphia, and then that's when I got introduced to a mature methodology of project delivery. So from there, I just was working within a consulting firm. So I went to different company and started seeing different flavors of project management, because nobody practices the methodology by the book 100%. It's always different flavors of it. So you have to really understand and ground yourself with the methodology, because it really stems from that, right? So if you have the solid foundation of what project management is, then you can understand, the little abstract changes that they do to fit their organization, their personal processes from there. And, I just fell in love with the methodology. And then after that, I, got introduced to PMI, which is the organization that, established the mature methodology as it is today. And, ever since then, it's just been history. And I've just been, applying myself with the community, learning a lot more from the different, global leaders, the chapters. And, the more I got involved, the more I would learn from these global leaders. To these.
Sorry.
It's awesome. I would have access to these global leaders that I never had before. These are mentors. These are potential employers. These are, friends. These are, everything that had to do with growing my leadership, growing my knowledge, growing, personally. So I found the more that I got into PMI, the more that I found myself growing in different areas, both personal and professional. And like I said, the rest is history.
Just to get, I mean, that's a lot of information for people who may not understand what PMI is. So when you love the methodology and the strategy that is really behind this, you're taking, with one company in particular that you're working with, say Lockheed, you actually had to probably research every little aspect that they do in order to finely tune and pivot yourself to figure out what it is they needed to get that project done. Because as you said, nobody follows everything 100%. You do have to tweak it to make it work for what the client needs. That's a lot of education and knowledge that people probably don't realize go into project management and how detailed it really can get. And, you've used that skill set to be a leader at PMI in the New Jersey chapter and grow that. And you said, the mentors you've gotten with, you also work with a lot of nonprofits, though. I mean, you are also helping organizations be more strategic.
Correct. And then going back to the difficulty of the methodology, it seems like it's very cumbersome. It seems like it's overwhelming at first, but all it really is just take a step forward. Just try it, read it, and apply it, and then apply it to your personal life. Apply it to a personal project. Maybe a vacation or something simple, something small, and then just replicate what you've learned time and time again with all these little mini projects, and then your curiosity will take it from there. So you don't have to really think of it as, oh, I need to practice it perfectly within this organization. Just approach it with a very curious mindset, right? That this is something new, and there's a lot for me to learn. So let me take a small little step and apply it. Small little step and apply it. And then PMI offers plenty of different platforms to help guide you along the process, even if you're just brand new. And so the difficulty of actually learning the methodology, it's not as bad as it was, several years ago. It certainly wasn't bad, when you don't have a mentor. If you do have a mentor, you do have some guidance, you do have some type of structure, it's a lot more easier for you to move forward on it. And then going towards nonprofits, yes, certainly. So within my particular firm that I established, I reached out to other nonprofits to help them with their strategic goals. I do have a few consultants that work with me. We all work right now pro bono, simply because I really want to just try to give back to the community and really try to help them, again, achieve their strategic goals. Application of methodologies always things to me. I'm very curious when it comes down to, strategy methodologies, management methodologies, change management, and all these different, management frameworks to actually apply change and make an impact. So giving an opportunity within a volunteer setting gives me a little bit of flexibility to actually help out, and also help out within their budget, because it's, again, for your cost. So at some point, I would like to transition to a pay model, but for right now, I think it's best for me to just focus on the value that I'm providing, which is just, again, helping others achieve their goals.
And that's a huge value. What you're doing is helping people, because, I love the fact that you said it's not as cumbersome, it's not as giant and scary as it sounds, small steps and adjust. For someone who doesn't know the methodology, it can be overwhelming, and it can be something very daunting that you just feel that you cannot get done. So it's very kind of you to say it's just steps. You just have to know the formula. Someone like me, I'd be like, oh, no. Very scary. But and then working with people and figuring that out and volunteering your time is really a wonderful thing you do to help out these nonprofits. I do want to focus on something that I read when I was researching on you, is every project you worked on, you said you take a step back and said, how could I have done it better? Not beating yourself up, not in a negative way, just self-improvement. And I thought that was so valuable to be able to do that.
So it's always important to grow, no matter what success you had in the past. If you have it in your head that you're the best of the best, then you've already lost. There's always going to be somebody out there that's smarter, quicker, better in many different ways. And there's a lot of people out there that will push you down quickly, and shut you down quickly in a negative way. So you just have to be very honest with your shortcomings, very honest with your, the success that you have done, and then look for opportunities for growth. So for example, let's say you led something and you had great success on it. So the challenge that you have to do is, what were the reasons why I should not have succeeded, right? You know all this, you know all the reasons, everything that you did to succeed. But what did you do that could have potentially made things go to life, right? What did you do that potentially make this entire initiative fail, right? And then when you start looking yourself at a critical level, you find little opportunities for yourself to refine your approach, refine some of the things, and start looking for ways to mitigate risk within your approach, right? And then that's how you find yourself to grow a little bit more quicker and a little bit more mature within the service that you're offering.
Well, you used two of my favorite words, was mitigate risk. But Lo, I actually wanted, I like the fact that you said that sometimes you can meet people who are very egotistical and think they're the greatest. But then you said something that unfortunately happens more frequently, is you get somebody that will shove you down and put you down and overly critique you, and everything you do is wrong. What advice do you have for, especially the young ones starting out there who are maybe just entering the workforce or maybe only 5 years in? What would be your advice of dealing with that type of personality in your job?
So there's two factors in there. One, any feedback, whether it's negative or positive, it's feedback, it's information. So certainly you can listen to it, but if it's negative feedback and you know the person's ill intent, meaning that they're just doing it just to get under your skin, then just let it over your shoulder. Just don't let that hold you back. I know for me personally, when I was applying for my PMP, I heard many, many times that, you know what, you don't qualify for it. No, you're too young. And this is people that literally don't know anything about me. They don't know my resume. They don't know what companies I worked at. They don't know what I've done in the company. They looked at me and it's like, in a few years, you'll get your PMP, right? So you'll see people that do that, and you'll start listening. You hear it time and time again. Psychologically, it blocks you and impedes your growth until, you know what, you say, I'm going to go for it no matter what. And then you go for it. And then you find out that not only were you qualified for it, but you actually have more experience than you thought that was applicable towards the application for the certification, right? And that certification it's very important for project manager, right? Because that can actually be the determination of you getting an interview for a company, right? Because some companies only will look at PMP candidates. So for that reason, highly recommend that you listen to the feedback, because again, feedback is important. It's important for you to look at it in a very constructive way, because some of the feedback may be very true, whether it's hard to hear or not. It may be true, and that may be an opportunity for growth. But the people that are just trying to be negative, the people that are just trying to push you down, just judge you by the way you look, the way you speak, the way you just carry yourself, they're always going to be there. And no matter how successful you are, you can be anything, literally anything, any title. And there's going to be a bunch of people out there that are like, oh, I don't like him because I don't like his beard, or I don't like his glasses. It's gonna be there, So just be prepared.
You're right.
Yeah, be prepared for it, but also don't let it get to you. Don't let it stop you from growing, because your goals are your goals, and you only have one life, so do you.
And that's beautiful advice, because as you said, there's always going to be somebody. I have a good friend. He's does keynote speaking all the time, all over the world, and he gets paid handsomely for this, so he knows what he's doing. But he's also sarcastic and funny, and he swears. So one of his keynotes, he dropped the F-bomb, and everyone's congratulating him after. Oh, great job, good job again. And this older gentleman came up to him and said, "You have sullied the world of public speaking." And he was like, it hit him. It was like, what, did I do something wrong? And instead of being angry about it or letting it get to him, he wrote an article about it, because he has a very large following. And he decided to write a little quick newsletter about it, just to, one, so he could get it off his chest, and two, to express what you just said, let it roll over your shoulder. Yeah. That's just one person's opinion. Don't let it stop you. Don't let it impede you. It's very hard to do sometimes. I'm living proof of that, because I take things personally. But you are the only one that's going to stop you. Yeah. And it's important that you pay attention to your goals. That's really good advice.
Yeah, I find that the people that struggle with this the most are the people pleasers. Like, they always have to be within the, favor with everybody. Like, everybody has to like you, But the reality is that you can't please everybody. You really can't. And if you really let negative comments really seep down to your soul and disrupt your peace, then that's really on you. That really is on you, unfortunately. That's the giving them power behind their words. Somebody could say, you know what, I hate you because of your glasses. Okay. That's your opinion, your one person opinion. You know, I'm gonna move on and keep going forward. I'm still gonna rock these glasses, and you know, I'm gonna be able to see better. So hey, you know,
I need mine to see. Otherwise, you know, if I do this, oh, it's all gone.
exactly.
I'm not going to be able to see the buttons or any of the stuff I have to pay attention to. But no, I mean, you're right. There is definitely, it's on you. You know, everyone has to take their own personal responsibility and choose what they allow to get to them or not.
Yeah.
And there is absolute freedom and brilliance when you can just let it go.
Yeah.
And that's just great advice. Now you are growing your company. You are growing the work that you're doing. So you are looking for volunteers, correct? People to help to work with you and do good in the world?
Correct. So I'm always looking for volunteers, specifically those that have experience with consulting and those that have experience within specific things such as marketing, web development, finance. Those are like the key main things that I'm really looking for right now, specifically within my particular firm. Main reason why is because, again, we provide advisory services to nonprofits, and we want to make sure that we're providing them the best quality as possible. So if you have some experience within that field, certainly reach out to me on LinkedIn. Think, hey, Eddy, I would love to try to help you out with that. If you're looking for leadership development, things in the nature of like project management, get yourself certified. Certainly PMI New Jersey or any PMI chapter is one will welcome you with open hands. And again, that was instrumental to my growth, instrumental to, you know, what makes me today. So if you really want to try to get into project management and you really want to get into, you know, discovering, you know, your leadership style, your approach to managing different initiatives, both within your personal and professional life, PMI is certainly there. If you're looking for an opportunity to give back to the community, PMI is there, as well as my firm, Vertil & Company. You can certainly reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I can help navigate you to either direction that you would prefer.
In today's world of remote settings, do you have to be in New Jersey if they wanted to connect with you, being the New Jersey chapter?
No, not at all. Everything that we're doing right now is remote. So whether you want to be within PMI New Jersey, we have certain webinars that we have on a monthly basis. They're all virtual, so you can certainly attend and learn those. Our in-person events, of course, you're welcome to join those. PMI, same concept. They have virtual events, they have in-person events. It's all available towards in that method. As for me, the independent consulting work that I do is 100% virtual. I would like to do in-person training and things of that nature at some point, but for right now, it's virtual due to the things that I'm balancing, you know, teaching at Rutgers, I'm balancing PMI, and I'm balancing, you know, my PhD program. I'm balancing quite a few different things. So it really does. I am taking quite the liberty of doing things virtually because it helps me, you know, be on multiple places in quite a short period of time. So.
You are balancing quite a bit, but you do it quite well, I have to say. You're quite the success story with everything that you do. I'm just impressed with everything that you've done and accomplished, especially with the career pivot, because a lot of people don't realize that what you start doing, and even though you may love it, it doesn't mean you have to stick with it forever. So going from graphic design and web design to doing project management consulting, you're doing quite a bit, and you're doing it obviously very, very well. So I thank you for your time, and especially carving out this time to be with me, because I know how busy you are.
No, I'm happy to be here. And when it comes down to time management in general, again, the methodology does help with that. But honestly, what helps the most is passion, really. If you genuinely, authentically want to help people and you really want to give back and you want people to succeed, the people that are around you, you know, this is not really work. This is just having a genuine conversation with somebody that is interested in doing something similar to what you're doing or maybe identical to what you're doing. So I don't mind spending a couple hours, you know, late at night, knowing that it's going to help somebody achieve their strategic goal, whether it's within their organization or their personal goal of, you know, getting their certification. I really don't mind doing it. It's just part of my nature. So.
You know, and I do like the fact that you mentioned personal goals, because as I have gotten older and I have realized that I'm now doing things more for me and what makes me a better person and giving back more to society than focusing on, well, you know, what's the job, what's the career path, you know, what's the success story. I've just gotten to that age where I'm like, I want to actually do better out there. I want to do things that are good for this world, reaching out to people, helping people, and giving people opportunities and information like this webcast. I mean, it's just information for people out there so they understand what the environment is and social justice is. And it's very important work that you do. It really is.
Yeah, it really does help to find the parallels, right? Where you're saying you want to develop yourself, but the output of that, how do you help somebody else with that? Right? If I wanted to learn more about marketing, great. How do I learn more about marketing and help somebody else learn more about marketing? So maybe it's a group learning session, right? Or maybe it's me doing, learning about marketing for an organization that has zero marketing presence online, right? So now we're both working together just so that you can have a presence with the market, right? You can do that in anything, really, literally anything. So it's just a kind of a win-win situation, and that's one of the things that I kind of love for when it comes to volunteering and things that I do. So,
and you excel at that because you explain that so simply. Simplicity is best. I mean, it really is. I mean, I was always told if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it completely. So you are very, very understanding, and you explain things very simply. I do thank you for that.
no problem.
On that, guys, I'm your host, Wendy Nystrom, Environmental Social Justice. We'll catch you next time. And Eddy, thank you so much for your time. Please check Eddy out. It's EDDYVERTIL. Check him out on LinkedIn. Help him out. Work with him. You'll walk away a better person.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Take care.